Premier League overrated 11. So today I'm going to look into the Premier League and I'm going to do an 11 of the most overrated players in the Premier League. Now, a player on this lineup does not mean they are a bad player. It simply means that this player is not what the media and the fans make him out to be. He's not that good. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. We're going to start with the goalkeeper. And for me, it's Ederson of Man City. Ederson, he is a very, very similar goalkeeper to Onana. In fact, I actually think Onana is better than Ederson. If you look at their stats, Onana is actually far better. The only difference between Onana and Ederson is that Onana plays for the wrong Manchester club. Ederson, terrible goalkeeper. World class with his feet though, same as Onana. In terms of making saves, he is one of the worst in the Premier League. Last season, his save percentage was around 60%, which was one of the lowest in the Premier League. The reason we don't talk much about Ederson as a bad goalkeeper is because whenever he makes a mistake, he gets bailed out by Erling Haaland because Man City always scores 3-4 goals. They always concede, and that is because they have a poor goalkeeper. Well, a poor shot stopper in Ederson. I think he's massively overrated. We move on to right back. For me, it's Kyle Walker. I think Kyle Walker is probably the most overrated right back of all time. People saying he's the greatest right back in the Premier League era. I think is absolutely ridiculous. Now, Kyle Walker, every week he gives you a 6.5, 7/10 performance, and he's done that for the last 15 years plus. Okay, so I respect that. In terms of longevity, I give you that. He's that kind of a player. But I have heard a lot of fans and pundits say he is world class. Are you kidding me? The word world class is thrown around quite easily these days. Kyle Walker, defensively, he's solid. He's not that great. Going forward, he's absolutely shocking. He can't pass. He can't play through the lines. His crossing is not that great. He doesn't really score. He doesn't get a lot of assists. I'm not sure what Kyle Walker offers for him to be as overrated as he is. You saw in the final of the Euro against Spain, he was exposed. Both Spain goals came from that right-hand side. Okay? And Kyle Walker is the most overprotected footballer on the planet by the media. If Trent Alexander-Arnold was playing right back and Spain scored those 2 goals, the media would talk about Trent for the next 1 year, saying how shocking he is as a defender. But because it was Kyle Walker, the media is gonna protect their boy. I just don't think he's that great. I really don't like him. I think Pablo Zabaleta at his prime was better than Walker. I really do. I think Walker is massively overrated. At right centre back, I am going for Lisandro Martinez. I think he is massively overrated. And of course, the only people who think he's even good is Manchester United fans. They are used to mediocrity since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. That's why they think Lisandro Martinez is good. I could name at least 7 centre-backs in the Premier League who are better than Martinez. The centre-backs at Liverpool are better. The ones at Arsenal are better. That's already 4. The ones at Man City, from Ruben Dias to Akanji to Ake, even Gvardiol, they are all better. Heck, I'm going to have Jared Kwanzaa over this clown. Okay, I do not rate Lisandro Martinez at all. I think, yes, he can play with his feet, but even that, he's not even that great at it. I think the media overrates how good he is with his feet. It's not as if he's playing through balls straight to Bruno Fernandes. He just plays normal passes to the side and to the number 6 in front of him. So I don't see what's that great with Lisandro Martinez. I think he's massively overrated. Now, next to Martinez, I'm going to go with the Arsenal centre-back, Gabriel. Now, Gabriel, for me, I think he's only good because he plays in a system that really protects him, that really hides his flaws. And that, for me, is the brilliance of Mikel Arteta, because as a coach, that's what you do. You need to hide the flaws of your players. Gabriel Whenever I have watched Arsenal play without Saliba, Gabriel looks like a shadow of himself, okay? If you remember 2 seasons ago when Saliba had that injury towards the end of the season, their defense fell into pieces. Gabriel, he could not lead the defense. He was absolutely shocking. Also, I watched a preseason game between Arsenal and Liverpool this season. You know, it was a preseason game, and there was no Saliba next to Gabriel. There was no Declan Rice in front of him to protect him, and he was getting torn to shreds by players like Fabio Carvalho. Listen, Gabriel, for me, he's a good centre back, but he is not a top 5 centre back in the Premier League. I know he made the team of the year, and he probably deserves to be there, but look, when you play next to Saliba and other centre backs, and you have the likes of Thomas Partey and Declan Rice protecting you, then you don't really have much to do. All you need to do is mop up a few loose balls, and that's what he does all day, really. You saw it against Brighton when Saliba got sent off. A ball was played in between Gabriel and Saliba. Gabriel should have dealt with that ball easily. He couldn't deal with it. And I'm telling you, this guy, if you play him in Liverpool, especially on the club when they played that high line and they were exposed, or if you also play him under Postecoglou at Tottenham, you will quickly find out that this guy, he's really, I will not say he's average, but he's slightly above average. He's not that great, Gabriel. So well done, Arteta, for making this guy look good, because he's not that amazing at all. At left back, I am going for Jurrien Timber. Look, Jurrien Timber is, I cannot remember the last time a left back, especially one that most Arsenal players have not really watched a lot of. He is so overrated. And that's because when he came to the Premier League, I think 2 seasons ago, right? No, he actually came last season, and he played that Community Shield game against Manchester City, in which he was fantastic. And then the very next game, which was the first Premier League game of the season, he had that injury that ruled him out for the rest of the season. So most Arsenal fans, the only memory they have of Jurrien Timber is that fantastic performance that he had against Man City. But the problem is that you cannot judge a player after one good game. It's possible that Timber, he put in a performance of a lifetime. I don't believe that Timber has those performances in him week in, week out. And so far this season in the Premier League, I have been paying close attention to Timber. And I have to say, he does look kind of average to me, you know. He's no Roberto Carlos, he's not Maldini. Heck, he's not Andy Robertson, he's not Ashley Cole. He is just Jurrien Timber, nothing special. So that performance against Man City, look, we may see it every once in a while, but in terms of him giving those performances week in, week out, I don't think he's at that level. I'm sorry, I just don't think he is. Now, my midfield. Now, in the number 6, I'm going for Declan Rice. Look, now, Declan Rice, this is not to say he's a bad player. I think he is a terrific footballer. I think he's one of the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League, without a shadow of a doubt, okay? So, I actually like Declan Rice. He's a good player. But we have to remember the price tag. This guy cost, 105 million? Declan Rice is not a 100 million player. Not for me. Look, Declan Rice, he can't pass. He can't control a game of football. Yes, he is amazing defensively. But I tell you what, instead of buying Declan Rice for 100 million, Arsenal could have bought Ugarte, who's going to give you the same. He's the same profile as Declan Rice. They are ball winners, you know. They are really good at tackling, winning back the ball. But in terms of passing, they are kind of average to poor. So, can you imagine that Declan Rice cost as much as Soboslai and McAllister? Again, that tells you everything you need to know. Would you rather have Declan Rice or both Soboslai and McAllister? For me, it's easy. I don't even think Declan Rice is at the level of McAllister. I think McAllister is a better footballer than Declan Rice, much better actually. So 100 million for Declan Rice, I'm sorry, he's not a 100 million player. For me, he's a 60, 65 million player tops. That's it for me. 100 million is an absolute joke. For me, he's not that player. Next to Declan Rice, I am going for Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, and by the way, this is a player that I really, really like, okay? But Bruno Fernandes is very interesting. I think that he's playing in the wrong era of football. If Bruno Fernandes played in the time of Zidane, Roberto Baggio, I think we'll be talking about him today as one of the best number 10s to have ever lived. I think he can be that good, you know. But the problem with Bruno Fernandes is that modern football, he's lazy. He can't run, he can't press, he's not good at the tackle. Bruno Fernandes is not a system player. He just is not a system player. So in modern football, where he just wants to stroll around, be lazy, and then yes, he will create a chance, he will get a goal or he will get an assist. You know, his numbers are good, but look, I don't think Klopp will have him in his team. I don't think Arteta will have him in his team. I don't think Guardiola will have him in his team because these managers demand work ethic from every single player. And Bruno Fernandes, for me, just doesn't have that. And for me, that is the only problem with him. You know, he throws his hands up in the air. Nah, I think he's massively overrated. I will not have him in my team either. So, yeah, Bruno Fernandes has to be there for me. The final midfielder on this list is the guy at Chelsea called Enzo Fernandez. Now, this Enzo Fernandez guy, that is another 100 million plus player, okay? 100 million for Enzo Fernandez. Would I have Enzo Fernandez at Liverpool? Absolutely not. Massively overrated footballer. Whenever I watch Chelsea, their midfield gets overrun, okay? And they spent 100 million plus on this guy. I don't think he's a 100 million player at all. I think he's a 40 to 50 million player. He can't tackle. In terms of controlling a game, he's not that great. He doesn't really get goals. He doesn't get assists. What does Enzo Fernandez really offer? I'm not quite sure what he offers. I mean, Chelsea are not a great side, and that is because they have players like Enzo Fernandez who are massively overrated playing for them. Now we go to the front three, and on this side right here, I'm going to throw in Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku, for me, look, he can run, he can dribble. His end product is absolutely shocking. And I believe that's one of the reasons why Man City brought in Savino, because when the likes of Foden are fit, Jeremy Doku will be out of this team. I tell my brother this every day. Jeremy Doku, for me, I don't think he should be playing for Man City. I think he is bang average. I really don't rate him as a footballer, to be honest. He's very lucky to be playing for Manchester City. So Jeremy Doku, for me, goes in there. On the left-hand side, I'm going for Marcus Rashford. Look, Rashford, my goodness. I mean, I don't really rate him, to be honest. He has had one season where he was really fantastic. Then he got that huge contract, you know, an improved contract. He's one of the highest paid players in the Premier League. He's on like what? Between 300 and 400,000 a week for those performances. Wow. One of the biggest scams in Premier League history. For Rashford to be on that kind of money is absolutely ridiculous. I think he's a bang average player. I think Manchester United, they should move him on, to be honest. You know, he's nowhere near good enough to be playing for Manchester United. I don't see enough good performances in him to warrant that kind of money. And he's 27. United fans, England fans, stop saying that Rashford is still a kid. He's not a kid. He is 27. I mean, come on. Just accept that he is not that good. It's that simple. He really is not that good. And that's really what it is. And in the center forward position, this was really tough because I can't really think of a center forward that is massively overrated, because to be a center forward it's either you are scoring goals or you're not scoring goals. If you're scoring goals, everyone says you're good. If you're not scoring goals, everyone says you're crap. So I had to come out with someone. And for me, I have to go with Jesus at Arsenal. Yes, I know he has been hampered by injuries, but even when he's been fit, for me, he just does not do enough. Man City got rid of him for a reason. Even when Man City did not have Haaland, you remember when Aguero left and just before Haaland came to the team, there was a season where Man City played without a striker. Jesus was still not starting for Man City. That's because Guardiola did not rate him. He's now at Arsenal. Arteta, I don't really believe Arteta rates him that highly, which is why he went and got Kai Havertz. Well, of course, you can also blame the injuries. But for me, Jesus, his goal scoring record is just not that great. His link-up play is okay. Look, I don't rate him as highly as Arsenal fans do. Arsenal fans think he's Bobby Firmino. He is nowhere near the level of Bobby Firmino. Let's just put that to bed. So, yep. So yeah, this is my team. Ederson in goal, Walker, Martinez, Gabriel, Timber in defense, a midfield three of Bruno Fernandes, Enzo Fernandez, and Declan Rice, and a front three of Doku, Rashford, Gabriel. I'll tell you what, where does this team actually finish in the Premier League? It's funny because I think this team probably makes the top four. They definitely do not win the league. No. I mean, Doku, Gabriel, Rashford are not going to score you enough goals. So this team, they probably finish around 4th, 5th. Yeah, somewhere around there. And defensively, you know what? This team probably finishes number 6, to be honest. Because Ederson, this is not Man City, where he's got that world-class midfield, okay? This midfield three, they don't work hard. Declan Rice is fantastic defensively, but these other two are kind of lazy. They don't offer enough protection. This defense is going to be exposed. Walker, not that great. Timber, solid defensively. Gabriel and Martinez, I don't really rate them that highly. So Ederson is going to concede a lot of goals. They will create a lot of chances with Bruno Fernandes, but this front three, they can't score goals. So this team, for me, finishes around number 6 in the Premier League. And that is why I said they are overrated. Yeah. There you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you soon.